more, and my therapist told me that jumping through all of those hoops all the time was legitimately putting my mental health and physical health at risk. And advised that I take a semester off, which turned into me never going back.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how much of the work that I did really benefited me, because ultimately, if you're applying to do commissions or if you're doing a job for somebody, they really don't care if you made Dean's List. Like,
yeah. Damn.
It can be really helpful, but only maybe if you finish your degree program.
Right, dude.
Which,
It's funny, too, because, like, it kind of raises an interesting question about, like, accolades
and burnout.
And, definitely about burnout. But, like, one thing that I think about as well on the side of that is accolades and accomplishments and translating those to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of like, for example, somebody outside of Boston wouldn't know what this was probably. Maybe other cities have a version of this, but here there's something called the Boston Artist Certification, which you know about, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's, there's this thing in Boston called the Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture, and I can't even fucking tell you what they actually do, but they connect people to mural jobs or post studio listings or rehearsal space listings, or like, it's basically just like a municipal fucking government
directory
fucking, like to help the arts or whatever. And they do this thing called arts, or why did I just start saying, but I basically,
what's my point?
Yeah, fuck. I applied to have that. And I got it. And when I got it, it was in like 2018. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. Like, I've accomplished, I'm a Boston artist. and like, I've had it for like 3 years now. And it has never helped me. It has meant nothing the whole time.
Interesting.
It has not. Then again, I mean, I also don't ever apply for anything. I've never applied for an art job, or I very rarely ever attempt to do anything in an official gallery capacity. I don't really apply for grants.
You used it to look at studios this summer.
It's like, so that's another thing that it can do, is that it makes me available to some studio opportunities that other people might not be available for. I said that like an idiot, but you get my point. But that's an interesting question, though. That raises a kind of interesting hot take that me and you have been talking about a lot recently, which is the, like, basically discussing the status of the art studio as a concept in 2021, and how me and Theo have come to the conclusion that having an art studio or a brick and mortar location where you make art that you rent from a realtor in a location is bullshit. There are definitely people who are artists that do have a craft or trade that requires a space. Like, I don't know, maybe if you did like huge ceramic pieces, like you would need a kiln. I mean, you need a kiln, but like you need a studio, or like a welder. I don't know, but like if
you don't have room in your living space too, I think it can be really important.
It's a fucking scam, though. Something that we've been talking about. Like, one thing, like, I don't know. So me and Theo refer to this thing. I'm going to just talk to you. We refer to this time period in our lives, me and your lives. I'm an idiot. I sound so stupid.
No, you don't.
But we call them the 504 days. Mm-hmm. Because basically, to give you a synopsis, a brief history, I have been maintaining different studio practices for like 4 years. I think I got my first studio in 2017 or 18. And during that time, I've had like fucking 9 studios or something.
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe not 9.
Really?
I don't know, like 6. 5.
Still.
But during that time, all of them have been fucking disgusting, have been shitty, have had no windows. I had one studio that had a literal chipmunk living inside of it.
That's cute.
Or possibly multiple chipmunks.
Oh.
I would literally be in there, sitting at my easel, and turn around, and there'd be a chipmunk on the floor, like eating a cracker that it found.
Why'd you give him a cracker?
I didn't. People would I had a lot of studio mates, and they would leave fucking rotten fucking food on their fucking desks. There was like empty, like half drank fucking drinks and plates of food with forks stuck to them. It's fucking horrible. That was this place called the Chess Company, which still exists. It's a studio band rehearsal place now. But before, it was my art studio. And now it's not, because I left. Which is when I went to... That's when I rented my first studio in the city of Boston, which was at a place called The Distillery.
It's a pretty cool place.
It was a cool place. That has a really cool gallery in there called the Distillery Gallery, I think it's called, or whatever.
I think so.
And I was in Studio 504.
Yeah.
In the Distillery in South Boston.
Which was, to preface the story, it was a really cool experience. I kind of, like, piggybacked on that, because I actually, to bring myself to the table also for that period of time, I had never rented a studio before. I've always worked out of my bedroom, basically, or my lap,
So
or my
we
car.
want to bleep out the locations of our studios?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, cool.
That's
cool,
for editing.
Go ahead. Well, we're not going to edit. That's the thing.
Yeah. Then no, whatever.
Okay, cool.
I've always worked out of my house and stuff, and I wanted a studio in a kind of sweeping, broad sense, but didn't really consider it a thing that was possible for me. And then, honestly, during quarantine, when I started talking to Brian, and you've been renting studios for a while, I wanted one really bad, and I had POA money, and
you had loot.
Yeah, and I actually was lucky enough that I was able to get a studio for a very affordable price at Dorchester Art Project, which is a nonprofit organization in Dorchester that I can only say good things about. They're amazing.
Shouts out to Sam and Emma.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Hi.
Hi, if you're listening.
They're probably not. No one's listening.
No, we have no
Just kidding.
listeners.
Sorry.
But no, I still rent that studio, and it's an amazing space. They put a lot of focus on BIPOC artists, LGBTQIA plus artists like myself, low income artists like myself, and their focus through grants via the nonprofit Brain Arts is to make those spaces more affordable, because a lot of the time they are not, which leads us back to
The Distillery.
yes.
So while you rented this amazing, dope, fucking affordable, community-oriented space at Dorchester Art Project, it's not like I'm talking so much shit. I, for some idiotic reason, chose to get like a expensive, huge, bougie studio in a gentrified area of South Boston.
Which, important footnote, it's not like you just shelled out like $2,000
No,
a month.
I was
You're subletting from a rich artist who was also a high school principal.
He was a nice guy, though. I feel like we're about to just, like, flame everybody involved in the situation, but...
No, it's nobody really did anything wrong. It's just, it was a learning lesson for us.
It was the wrong studio for me, because just to be totally, like, transparent, too, I had all this, like, pandemic unemployment money and thought I was rich, basically. And
Same.
unemployed and just selling paintings when I could, and was renting. It was $430 a month, which was a subletting price of a really big studio. And basically, me and Theo, I need to stop talking about you in third person.
I keep doing that to you too. Yeah.
It's okay. We don't understand the flow of this podcast. So we'll get a rhythm soon. We just gotta keep going, but we gotta find it. It's gotta find its legs. This is like, what do they say? A baby. Never mind. Never mind.
Motor skills?
No, like
nascent.
No, like how like a horse walks after it's born, where it's like got skinny little legs and it's like doesn't know how to walk yet.
We're still on our skinny little legs.
Yeah, we're on skinny.
Is there a term for what you're talking about?
Horse birth legs.
All right. Anyway, what are you saying?
Anyway, okay,
Distillery.
Okay, basically,
The 504 days.
what we did is we listened to horrible TikTok rap music at full volume through a speaker, and we bought rolls of canvases, and we were painting huge things. I didn't even have any furniture in the studio.
Yeah.
We were just pinning up canvases to the wall and painting.
There was no air conditioning.
No,
it was
it was
middle of
fucking
summer.
blazing fucking hot, sweating bullets, shirtless, with bandanas around our heads.
Big warehouse space on the third floor of an old factory.
Yeah, like fucking thinking we were like fucking rich in this sick fucking studio in South Boston.
We're Boston artists
Yeah,
now.
we felt so fucking cool.
Staying at the studio working from like 10 o'clock in the morning to literally like 4 o'clock in the morning the next day.
And keep in mind,
my roommates were like, "What the fuck, Theo? What's wrong with you?"
It wasn't even fun. Our emotional state.
We were like crying.
We were fucking like suicidal.
It was fun.
It was fun, yeah.
It was fun. But it had its moments.
But like the thing was, and like we concocted this project called Sliving.
Oh God.
Inspired by the famous phrase "slaying and living, sliving," coined by Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton was a huge artistic inspiration for some reason this summer.
Yeah, we were really inspired by Paris Hilton and fame, and we basically I can't really explain. Like we could try to explain what this project meant to us, but the essence of the project was we were making these very, very large scale. I guess you could maybe like, I don't know, 3 by 4 feet, or like sometimes, big ass fucking huge portraits in pastels and charcoal of famous people. Famous
artists specifically. Like musicians and celebrities.
You did.
Paris Hilton and Post Malone.
Yeah. And I had a couple in progress. I did Kiernan Shipka, star of Sabrina.
Oh. I did who?
Sabrina. I think that's how you say her name. I did. Who else did I do?
You did Lil Xan.
I tried to do Lil Xan. It didn't work very well.
Noah Cyrus.
I did Noah Cyrus and Kendall Jenner.
Yes.
And I tried Andy Warhol, but it looked like a fucking mess. And our plan was to make a shitload of these. Just a shitload of drawings on big fucking paper. And then we were going to seal them all together into like a giant 15-foot...
How we were going to do that was yet to be seen.
Wall piece of portraits of famous people.
And it was going to be titled Sliving, and then in parentheses, self-portrait. Which is so embarrassing.
A self-portrait of us.
But the reasoning behind it was...
allegorically represented by these celebrities.
Which is actually, I mean, it was a pretty ridiculous way to go about it, but it's funny that was the central project that we worked on, because we made a bunch of art during that time, but... What we were...
That was the focal point project, though.
Yeah, that was the whole few months. I remember your studio mate being very confused and us having no answers. But we actually got into an argument about this, trying to turn this problem over, which is also funny. But we were basically trying to understand... We were trying to posit that we were the same as these people. And I mean, most of the people that we actually finished drawing were like contemporary pop culture figures. We were also considering people like Frida Kahlo, Andy Warhol, fine artists that are really well known for the sort of parasocial relationships that museum institutions and art history put on them.
Oh, yeah.
So we were trying to say that if we as... This is my stance on this, because I know we never agreed totally.
Go
but
off.
We were trying to say that we deserved basically a seat at that same table, and that we were creating a parasocial relationship between our followings on Instagram and ourselves and our art, and that we were being honest and genuine about what we had to offer, in the same way that it feels like Paris Hilton, Post Malone, Lil Xan, all these people that are posting, like, going on live and talking to their fans, like, you know what I mean? Like, just that it is an attainable goal of putting yourself all in on your art and all out there that makes marketing easy. And we were kind of reckoning with the fact, like, what makes us different from them? Which was a project that we never finished, because we came to the conclusion that we are poor.
Yeah, and we just all in all, we just decided that this was a ridiculous bullshit project that we didn't want to do anymore.
Yeah, it turned into... I'm glad that it happened, because it was a catalyst for a lot of really interesting conversations, and ultimately probably part of the reason why you left 504. But
yeah, it got really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
It got fucking extremely expensive. It became pointless. I went through also a difficult breakup, which is awkward to talk about, obviously, because we're making a podcast right now. So I don't want to, to just discuss a breakup that I experienced, which sucks, but... And,
it happened, though.
Yeah. And also, at the same time, during that moment in my life, my guy I was subletting from, my guy.
The plug.
The plug. That I was subletting from decided that he didn't want to have the studio anymore, and that he was moving away and just abandoning the studio.
Which, in his defense, it was a sudden divorce, so it wasn't like he just left.
It wasn't a divorce, it was a breakup. He also, my studio mate also had a breakup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, though.